welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great week. First of all, I want to quickly mention that I know that Super Bowl Sunday was last Sunday, but it takes a long time to film it and then edit it and all that jazz, so bear with me. I hope you are excited to learn how I achieve this makeup and the entire process of it all. The first thing I'm gonna say is, as you can see me draw the concept on my body, it just did not came out of the blue. It took me 2 hours to just, sit down with a piece of paper and come out with the concept and an idea of what I really wanted to do. I really wanted to step up my game since last year. I also did the Super Bowl makeup. I'm gonna try to link last year's makeup in the caption, but the description, sorry. But yeah, I really want to step it up a notch and do something different. So that's what we're gonna do today. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the process. So the first thing I did is I went with some Snazaro water activated paint in the red, but I realized I really wanted to start with the face first because you don't want to mess up the body paint after you did it and just do your entire makeup. As you can see, my arm is moving a lot when I'm doing my face makeup, and I didn't want to either has some creasing or things like that. So I did my face makeup first. So I did prime my eyes, set my eyes, foundation, concealer, setting the face with powder. I used the NYX liquid eyeshadow, which I really, really like. You're gonna see it in a few minutes, the red color on my entire lid. Then I applied some eyeshadow on top and blended it in my crease. And I used a little bit of Fix Plus, and I also lined my lower lash line with some black eyeshadow, and I went in with some mascara. I know this is a short version, really like rambling the entire step-by-step makeup, because I think this tutorial is more about the body paint, so I didn't want to spend too much time on the eye makeup. But if you have any question, please please leave them down below, and I will be more than happy to answer your face makeup question for this look. The bronzer that I'm using is from Bobbi Brown, and the blush that I'm using is from Giorgio Armani, from the two blushes that I got in PR, from the limited edition collection, something like that. Then I went in with my brows with the power of it editing, and then we're gonna move back on with the body painting. So I'm using a more definer and like less of a big brush to really create a more opaque look and I didn't want to have like the brush strokes. So after applying the water activated paint, I'm still gonna go back and add an oil-based paint from the Makeup Forever Flash palette, which is I think what I'm doing right now, but I'm not sure. So yeah, that's just that. Then I'm just gonna do the Kansas City letters in the logo. I'm using a really small detail brush, and I'm gonna go back and add the black and like the shadow and things, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but you still kind of want to be precise in the beginning. Then I'm going in with a mix of the red that I just used and a little bit of black in the water activated paint to create more of a like burgundy color, just like, the 49ers colors. And then I'm gonna paint my entire part, that entire side of the body, with a really big brush. And I'm just realizing that's how I got those brush mixed up, because I use the exact same brush. But anyway, I use a big brush first, and then I'm gonna go in with a small detail brush to really kind of like not go over the edge of what I really wanted to create, like the illusion that I wanted to create. And yeah, that's just gonna help. You will see me adjust throughout the makeup and like, remove some stuff and add some stuff. So bear with me. I think it's gonna be like, it's a process, and it always look crazy before it looks really good. So anyway, that being said, let's move on to the next step. Okay, after that, I went in with a really small brush to start creating the shadow of where the trophy is. Um, as you can see, I did had to speed it up because apparently I don't know my angles, and it's really difficult to like film and see yourself and like look in the mirror and make sure you're focused while also being like in the shot, if that makes sense. So it is a lot of process. I think I'm gonna have to use a second camera just to have like all those angles to really be able to capture every little details. But anyway, I did just go on the edge and create some depth to make sure it looks kind of like a hole, if that makes sense. The part you see me doing right now, it's gonna get removed because it just doesn't make sense. And that's the thing, when you create illusion makeup, some parts of the makeup when you start are not gonna stay there. As soon as like it get dimension and get more of a 3D effect, you kind of get a bigger picture and a bigger perspective on everything, and that's when you kind of know what looks like it's 3D and what doesn't, and you kind of go from there and adjust, and like that's that. So what I like about using oil paint is that it's easier to manipulate, and also when you apply like cream and then powder, then it's like forget it, you won't be able to like manipulate it. So I like to use cream until the very end, and then at the end I'm gonna set it some parts or add some mattifying parts on the entire thing to make sure it doesn't have like reflection, which at the end I kind of see the reflection on the trophy, but it kind of makes sense too because when you apply translucent powder on like those type of creams, it just doesn't work. So anyway, that being said, I'm kind of like working on the 3D effect of everything, and then I went to with a little bit of the silver in the flash palette, and then fill out the blanks to create the trophy. Another thing is don't forget to add dimension of the object in the hole because that also have 3D effect, and that's a thing too. Like it's kind of like an accumulation of small details that makes the makeup looks great. So that's another thing. Then I started adding some brown on the little 3D holes that I wanted to create. So it's kind of like, it's breaking apart, but you really want those 3D pieces and like the edge to look like it's an edge of something, if that makes sense. So that's where the browns comes to play. Um, and I'm gonna also add like in a few minutes a little bit of a beige on top to create more of a ombre effect and a 3D effect to those little separation. But I went back with some black again, and again accentuating the little holes and the little cracks, and you can see me do some cracks right now. I did added a little bit on the edge to really create again the 3D effect. Like usually the edge is like where the light is, and I'm gonna add some light in the near future, but that's just all part of the looks. And as you can see, it really doesn't add up. Like the top on top of the trophy, this shouldn't be there, because the trophy is so big that it covers the holes that you have in the back. And that's where my mind like kind of like got tricked. And then I added some little texture on the little side because when something crack, it's never cracking perfectly, and like, the edge are never like sharp and like, straight lines. So I added a little bit some of texture, but I got carried away and I may have added too much, but I ended up, going back and forth and removing some of the cracks. And then I'm adding those little cracks on my neck to create an even more defined separation and kind of look like it comes from somewhere and then it breaks completely because the trophy is coming out, if that makes sense. And as you can see, I went back and forth with some oil paints to when the line were too intense. Then I went in with a little bit of black on the trophy to create the dimension I was talking about. And I remember having to go on Google to really make sure to see where the lights usually it's the trophy. And I know that's a little too much to do that, but it is kind of like the key. Like I said, it's the small details that makes a huge difference, and looking up the trophy was a really great decision because you really want the trophy to look like the real trophy. I'm not able So I realized that I'm not able to do the logo, like the NFL logo in the little teeny pocket that you can kind of see on the trophy because it's silver on silver on silver, right? So that's another 3D effect, and it's so teeny small, and I'm like working in a tiny mirror, not finding excuses. It's just, it's a lot of details for myself. So I'm thinking next year this is gonna be my, kryptonite. It's like something I need to try. Either make a bigger trophy or transfer myself in an entire trophy. I don't know. But I really have to try to do the silver on silver on silver because I think you have to challenge yourself sometimes, and why not? Like, that's the second year I didn't do it because it's too freaking small. But I feel like, with time you always improve, and just doing this illusion makeup. I just started working on illusion makeup this year, so I feel like we've come a long way already, but I cannot wait. Maybe next year I'll try to actually do the NHL logo, or just a 3D, more of a 3D effect of the makeup, but I cannot wait for next year. I just cannot wait for the season to start again, so bear with me. As you can see, I'm adding a little bit more details and like elongating, it's not a word, but anyway, the cracks to make it look more realistic. And that's when the beige eyeshadow comes in. I'm only gonna put that on top of those little thing to create, again, more of a 3D effect, and like it's like on, like just on the edge of the little mountains, if we can call that. And then I'm gonna go in with some white paint, but we're gonna blend that with our fingers, and we're gonna do small little step at a time to then create more, even more of a 3D effect. Because the thing is with 3D effects, it's a lot of like, lights and shadows. So where the light is, like where would the light hit normally, if that makes sense. And fingers are always like a great tool, by the way, while doing those little shady things. That's weird. It sounds like gossiping, but that's not what I meant. But anyway. Okay, so I'm rectifying. I did 2 layers of water activated paint, and then I did 1 layer of the oil base paint from the Flash palette from Makeup Forever. And this is when I added that because I was tired of seeing like the brush strikes. So that's that. And then I went back with some black eyeshadow to create more depth on the areas that would have been darker. And that's another thing. You can also play with your medium to create even a darker um area, or like, I don't know, some texture, glossy feeling, matte feeling, that like a matte effect, whatever that is. Anyway, you just kind of play with the product that you have, and that's what makes it even more fun. After adding a few of details, I'm gonna do the line of the Kansas City logo. So it's just a black line, and then we go in and we create this shadow of all the little letters, which take a decent amount of time, I'm not gonna lie. And then we're gonna do the white at the end because we can also, like, remove our little mistakes when we do that. So I did the white, and then I went back with the black, and things like that. So that's another thing about oil paint that I love, is that you always can go back and forth and, fix your mistakes. So that's that. Went out for a snack and I forgot to record when I came back. That's just so me. But I just created the little logo, like the 3 lines of the circle logo of the San Francisco 49ers. Don't worry, I know the white doesn't look symmetrical, but I'm gonna go back anyway with some red paint, because you will see in a few seconds my hair got stuck in the logo. And that's another thing with oil paint. It does not set if you don't set it. So keep that in mind. But I went in and fixed it because it's oil paint. So it's always like, you never make a mistake because you can always go back, and it's just like a really oily paint that doesn't dry, basically. So yeah, after fixing our mistakes, we are going to do the letters of the logo. So I started with the white, so the inside of the letter first, and then we're gonna line them and then do the background after that. But You get the gist. Okay, and then after fixing the shape of the letters and our mistakes, we're gonna add some lashes. I use the most dramatic lashes, I know, but I feel like for these type of looks, it just makes an entire different, like a big difference. Then I'm gonna blend some eyeshadow underneath my eyes, and yeah, and then we're gonna move on to the lips. Liner that I'm using is the Red Rebel from NYX, if I'm not mistaking the name, but I just love this shade so much. And then you cannot see it, but I did the edge with the Giorgio Armani lipstick, and then I blended that with a brush, and then look at this shade. It's so perfect. It's like the perfect combo of the two teams together. It's perfection. Then I went back with a little bit of the liner to make sure it was like the perfect ombre effect. And you know, you just adjust. I think I went back, added a second layer of the oil-based paint to remove all the brush strikes and stuff like that. You just, you know, fix the little things that bugs you, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys love this tutorial. Make sure to leave a comment down below on like what sport event or sports you want me to do a body painting on, or like anything. Let me know if you liked this makeup and if you're happy that the chief won or not. But anyway, I hope you guys love this tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.